Hey guys, welcome to this session on Tableau for Data Science by Intellipaat. In this session, we'll take a look at how to use Tableau for data science. We'll take a look at a small demo of how to use Tableau with the existing data sources. We'll first begin by exploring what Tableau is, how you can go about understanding what Tableau is, what is its role in entire world in BI, and exactly what its role is in data science. So with that in mind, let's begin. So let's take a look at the agenda. The first one is we'll take a look at what is Tableau. We'll move on to take a look at the advantages of using Tableau. Then we'll take a look at Tableau products. So Tableau offers multiple products for multiple environments. We'll take a look at which one's best for you. And then we'll take a look at using Tableau in data science. And then we'll have a demo. So what is Tableau? Well, Tableau is an interactive data visualization software that allows customer to load data from multiple sources and create visualizations to extract trends from information for data. So, for instance, if we have a data set about multiple things, let's say we have geographical data, we have uh, time series analysis, we have forecasts, we have data that could be represented in a pie chart. Let's say we have data about the distribution of some product that has been sold over a long amount of time. So these are the kind of things that we can take a look at by loading them into Tableau, and then we'll visualize them, and then we can understand how we can do it. The reason why Tableau is so popular is because it's very fast, it's very easy to get started with. Plus it has a lot of different capabilities, and it can understand data from various sources. So let's take a look at the advantages of using Tableau. The first advantage out of the many advantages that Tableau provides is that it's very fast. Tableau is written in C++ mainly, so that makes it really fast. Visualizations, even though if you have a large data set, is going to be really fast. And the visualizations are very fast because of the underlying C++ APIs that take talk to the low level OS implementations, and they make it really easy and really fast for us to use. The second advantage that we have is that it's very easy to get started with. Tableau has a very intuitive user interface. So if you want to ever get started with using Tableau, if you want to understand what Tableau is all about, then getting started with Tableau is not going to be that difficult. It's actually very easy. You do need to understand a little bit about data and how data fields are related to each other, how your data is stored, how you're going to open it up. But once you know that, then getting started with Tableau is not that difficult thing. Then it's very versatile. So Tableau can be used with data sources of multiple types that contain several kinds of data like geospatial, historical, etc. So if you have geospatial data and you want to represent it on a map, which we'll take a look at here, it helps. Tableau helps us with that. If you want to take a look at what other kind of data we have, we can do that as well, and it helps us visualize what kind of data we have, how we're going to use it, so on and so forth. Scalable. So Tableau can handle even large volumes of data, and it can work very well with small volumes of data as well. So Tableau is really scalable. If you have a small data set that quickly is going to become large data set, let's say you're a startup, and you start with the product analyzation of how many users have used your product, what was the a locality of the users who used the product. So quite easily you could do it with Tableau, even though you have a small user base and you just started up. But after a while, when your startup grows and you assimilate more and more users, Tableau can handle visualization of those data sets as well. And it's multi-platform. So Tableau is available to be used on multiple platforms. You can download it and use it on many platforms, as we'll see. It has many products that work on many platforms as well. It can take data in multiple formats because many different platforms save data in different ways. So you can take a look at that as well, and we'll take a look at all of that in a moment. Now comes Tableau products. So Tableau offers several products for visualization, and Tableau is a part of visualization solution tools. It offers many tools for us to make visualizations out of. So the first tool is Tableau Desktop. Tableau Desktop is the desktop software that you can install on your system, which we'll be taking a look at in a moment. And it allows us to exploratory analyze our data. It allows us to visualize our data. It allows us to graph out our data. It allows us to do all kinds of cool things with data. We have Tableau Server. Tableau Server is really easy to understand and easy to use. It's not that difficult. It's really simple to get started with. Tableau servers also allow user to have access to live data, the live data which is being updated again and again and again through a dashboard or a web user interface using a web browser or even in your mobile devices. Tableau server is a proprietary server that they have on which you can store your data and then make visualizations. And since the data is live, as the changes are being made, it's being updated regularly. Then Tableau Online is another of the features that they provide. It's a hosted version of Tableau server. So instead of you having to set up Tableau server on your own premises and keeping up with the maintenance charges, you can simply pay for the maintenance and all of that, and Tableau will keep track of all the data that you have. It will maintain the servers. It will make sure that they are up for the majority of the time. And these are the kind of things that Tableau Online will take care of. Then comes Tableau Reader. Now, Tableau Reader is a free desktop application that you can use to open and interact with data visualizations built in Tableau Desktop. So, if you are working in an organization in which some people need to create the visualization and some people just need to take a look at the visualization, maybe let's say in a presentation or some other place, then you don't need Tableau Desktop on all the available systems installed. You just need Tableau Desktop on the systems that are going to be used by people who are going to create the visualization. For those who only need to view the visualization, there's a free tool called Tableau Reader which you can take a look at. Now, Tableau Reader is also very important because this is the kind of thing that people use when they are in large organizations and they just want to take a look at some Tableau visualization. Then there's Tableau Public. So it's also a free software that can allow anyone to connect to a spreadsheet or a file and create interactive data visualization for the web. So if you have any spreadsheet and you have remote data, you have other kinds of data visualization, and you want to create interactive data visualizations for the web, then Tableau Public is quite a good solution for you in that regard. You can take a look at Tableau Public. It's free, it's open source, so you can take a look at that quite easily, and it's very useful as well. Now let's take a look at the use of Tableau in data science. So data science is a really booming field, and Tableau has a really good advantage in data science. So since in data science we are trying to understand data, Tableau allows us to create visualizations that are interactive. So if you want to create a map on which we want to plot some data and we want to be able to hover over the map and be able to see what the data is, instead of having to see a pure data frame or a pure data frame or pure dictionary or some Python object, it's much more intuitive to see it on a map. And a map that could be easily configured to look like an actual map, then we use Tableau for that. Also, Tableau is quite good for creating visualization for extremely complex and diverse set of data. So if you have multiple data sources that are really complex and you want to create visualizations, but you're not much of a Python coding person, then it's going to be difficult for you. But if you use Tableau, then it's really easy. Another advantage that it provides you is that when you're using Tableau, it's very easy to get started with. So you can take a look at Tableau and use it very easily. And you don't need to know any programming languages, you don't need to know any programming jargon, it'll just work. Alright, now comes the time for hands-on. So let's first open up Tableau. I already have it opened up so that it doesn't take a lot of time. Here's Tableau for you. Now you would have to import a file. For me, I have a CSV file or a set of CSV files. So I will import the file here. So it's being imported. As you can see, we have all the data. Now Tableau isn't just for visualization. You can do a lot of other things as well. You can sort the data. You can take a look at the data. This is the subdivisions tag. If you want to manipulate the data in some way, for instance, instead of subdivision, you want to call it regions, if I could spell it correctly, you can do that as well. But for the sake of this video, I'll call it subdivisions. Right now, if you take a look at the data set, it's quite huge. You can take a look at all the data that we have here as well. You can select a particular field as well. You can sort the data according to your wish. So if you want to sort them in A to Z ascending order, if you want to sort them in A to Z to A, which is the descending order, if you want to sort them in some other order that's available, you can take a look at that as well. If you want to take a look at the data in the form like this, then you can take a look at that as well. But if you take a look at this, this works fine as well. So if you, or you can just keep the data in the form that the data source was in. So you take the data and you can take a look at this. Now you can take a look at the data here. You can click to sort by particular rows as well. So for instance, if I want to sort by year, so now I have sorted it ascendingly. I don't know if you can see, but there are three small icons here. If I press it, now it's sorted descendingly. Similarly, it's the rainfall data set. So it has rainfall for all the days. Let's say if I want to sort by annual rainfall. So I click here and there are some node values which will deal within our data science pipeline. So 1918 in Arunachal Pradesh, we saw the highest annual rainfall. So that's how that works. Also, you can take a look at the data. You can click here and just change the data type of the data. So in case it's a string, you want to display it as a string, you can do that as well. You can right click on the data, take a look at renaming it, copying the values, creating a calculated field, creating a group, creating bins, so on and so forth. And you can, when you're selecting data points, you can, for instance, select multiple data points. And you can create calculated fields, you can merge the mismatched fields, you can create a pivot table. So you can see it has a lot of things that you can do here. Now I'm going to do something a little different here. I'm going to go to a sheet. Sheet is where available data formats are being available for visualization. Now as you can see, it says ABC, which means that it has described it as a string data. Now we have in it some data points as state and provinces. So it's not going to be able to grab all the data, but it's going to be able to grab some of it because some of the data is formatted incorrectly, but we'll take a look at that. Now, yes, you can see that it has converted it from ABC to a globe, which means that it has been converted into a data visualization format that is appropriate for maps. So I click on it, it's creating the visualization and the visualization is there now. Now it's a map. I don't know if you can see, but the map looks like this. Now I don't like my maps to have dots. I like my maps to be color. So this is showing all the data points that we have. Here are the data points that we do have. We have one on Chhattisgarh. We have one on Telangana. As you can see that it's an interactive map. So I can click on it. I can keep, only, exclude, do a lot of cool things with it. Let's say that you want it to look like an actual map. So to look like an actual map, you need to go to map, click on map layers, right? In the style option, instead of light, select satellite, and now it will fetch the real-time data, satellite data. And as you can see, it looks like this. You can zoom in, you can zoom out. This is the kind of interactive data points that we don't get in Python as well. You can, by the way, you can extract the data like this as well. You can rename the sheets if you want to. You can rename it to regions map visualization. Now that's not a great name, but that's how this works. And since Tableau is doing all the work for us, it's just getting the latitude and longitude for us and then displaying it on or all on its own. So we don't have to do anything here. Tableau is doing everything for us. Now, as you can see, this is the data that we have. But let's say that I want to create predictions. So what I do is let me just show you some code. This might look a little difficult for you to understand because you might be thinking if you are using Tableau, you don't need to use code. Well, that's fine. We're just making some predictions and then we'll try to see if we can visualize them. So the first thing I'm doing, I'm creating a model. This is going to be able to predict rainfall based on the data that we have. What it's in now, it's going to be a little complicated. So I hope you listen closely. So now we run the code. We get only the unique subdivisions, which means all the subdivisions, and we have 36 subdivisions. So subdivisions are basically regions for which we have data. Then we get the months available, and after that we create another data frame with subdivisions and ranging from month 0 to month 3, which is January, February, March, and April. So we get data for all of them, and then we give it a name. The name is going to be something like subdivision x1, x2, x3, and x4. X1 means first month, x2 means second month, x3 means third month, x4 means fourth month. Now what we do is we go from a range of 1 to 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the range that we're going for. And in that, what we'll do is we'll get all the data for each month. We'll get that month and the next 3 months. So it's going to be January, February, March, and April. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to get our data into 4 months period so that next time when someone asks us to make a prediction, we can just simply give them 4 months of data, 4 months of continuous values, and it will predict the next month's rainfall. How much rainfall is it going to be based on the data that it has. So we get the data, we create a NumPy array, we create the columns out of it, and then we just append the data that way, and then finally we just create the index. Finally, now it comes time to make the predictions. So the first thing we do is we just remove the subdivision because it's a string value and it's not going to be able to understand what that means. Then we create a mask. Basically, we create a random number till the length of df2. df2 is the second data frame, and we are going to just generate random values and going to check how many of them are less than 0.8%. All of those are going to be persisted. We put the values that are less than 0.8, randomly generated values that are less than 0.8 inside df train. Values that are not inside less than 0.8 are put in df test. We take the df train and df test and we put index. We create a regression model. We train the model, and now we make the predictions. So it's making the prediction. We add the columns. We take a look at the data. Now it looks like this, and since we have written it to the file, it's available. So now let's take a look at what our files are going to look like, right? We take a look at this, and now let me just show you what are. So this is what it looks like. It's the data set that we have, 4 months and its prediction. So this is our data set. We have been given the task to make the prediction for all the 4 months values that we have. These are the predictions that we have made. We will write it to a file, and we just did. And now I can again open the Tableau dataset. I want to add another dataset. Now with Python, it could have been a little tricky, but here it's quite easy. So firstly, just go to the data source panel. We can take a look at everything. We have predictions.csv already entered here, but in case you didn't, you could add other values as well. For instance, you could just click here, which is new data source. I click here. I want a text file. As you can see, Tableau has a lot of other features as well. You can connect to a Tableau server. You can load statistical file, spatial file, PDF file, JSON file. I'll be loading a CSV file, which is a text format. I saved it with the name of prediction. So it's open. Again, I can take a look at this. I can sort it just like I did earlier. So as you can see, this is sorting. I can change the name of the data as well. But I want to make some sort of a visualization or see if it's possible at all. So let's take the expected rainfall, add it here. So as you can see, this is what it looks like. If I wish to remove the aggregation, I can click on analysis and remove the aggregate measure. So as you can see, at the beginning, the rainfall is not going to be that much. And then our data set goes ahead and we get higher rainfalls as we go along. We can visualize it with multiple fields as well. So let's say that I add this here as well. I add it here. And now if I want to visualize it, as you can see that this is a scatter plot. And compared to our first month, the rainfall is increasing sort of as we move here. The rainfall starts to decrease. If I remove this, I add the second month. As you can see, the difference is quite clear. First month had more rain than the second month. When we add day third, as you can see, this is a clear sharp increase. So we can visualize it that way as well. And then for the fourth month that we had provided, compared to the fourth month, this is quite easy. So the third month and the first month, if we compare them, then the third month and the prediction that we compare, then we get a really high slope of curve. So that's what that means. You could, for instance, take a look at here and change the colors as well. Click on colors if you want to turn it to green or some other thing that you want to change. Maybe you want to change the label. You can show the label or not show the label. I prefer not to show the label. You can enter shapes as well. I wouldn't prefer that you do, but you can. There are many other things that you can do with Tableau, and we're only scratching the surface. As you can see, we can make predictions as well, and we can use that as well. So if you have multiple data sources, then you can do that. So with that, we've come to the end of the session.